Hey everybody, it's another What's Up Wednesday. Wanted to check in and see how everyone was doing. Today I have a special guest with us. She is not only a pet sitter from Lake Minnetonka Pet Sitters, Miss Jody Smith, but she is also a representative for LeashTime, which is a pet sitting software. And at Pro Pet Hero, we like to share everything from, helpful information for pet owners and obviously safety, pet first aid, and CPR, but also tools within our, grasp that help make our lives, particularly for pet care professionals, easy, better, more manageable. I personally use pet sitting software, and I didn't start embarrassingly until like November of 2015. And it was a big regret that I didn't start earlier. And I just encourage people to look at what's out there. I'm bringing Jody on today to share LeashTime with us, but also, as we do, we'll talk shop and talk about pet sitting and care and everything. So, and please pardon the light. I've got some funky sun going on. It's a beautiful fall day here in New England. So, without further ado, I want to welcome Jody. Jody's going to introduce herself and let us know a little bit about her pet sitting company and how she got involved with LeashTime, and we'll take our conversation from there. So welcome, Jody. Thank you so much for coming on.
Good morning, Kara. Thanks for having me on. And I always get kind of nervous. So
You
can cut me off if I start chattering or talking or everybody's like, what is she doing? So anyways, but thank you for having me on. Again, my name is Jody Smith. I own Lake Minnetonka Pet Sitters. I've been pet sitting since 1999. I started I was, when I started, it was, business was really pretty new. And I didn't start using a pet sitting software till 2005, which,
That's still pretty early.
Yeah. Well, and I was using QuickBooks and things like that. So, but it was, I saw a need. I was using a different software than LeashTime. And then in 2012, LeashTime started about 2009. They started in 2008, but the two gentlemen that started it kind of tied in with a large dog walking pet sitting service in DC, and spent months sitting with the owner, and so the software was designed. And I came on in 2012. I have an IT background, and so when I left the IT business and started my pet sitting business, I still kind of had, some of that still, not the knowledge necessarily, because it changes so quickly. It's like, boom, the next 2 years later, I didn't know squat, but yeah. Anyway, so then I started working for LeashTime doing sales and support. And obviously having a pet sitting business myself helped, because I could see what pet sitters needed and that kind of thing. So LeashTime is a web-based online software. It's used by dog walkers, pet sitters, businesses, a few daycares, trainers, poop scooping businesses. So it's a variety of businesses that can use it, but it's mainly pet sitting and dog walking businesses. And to be honest, it's for any size. You could be pet sitting by yourself, or you could have 50 to 60 walkers out in the field. So it's designed for all levels on that part.
Yeah, I saw that. I was definitely digging into it, because I went through probably 5 to 7 different softwares before I landed on mine. And there's some features that, well, first off, there's some pains that pet sitters have. I mean, I was using Google Calendar and QuickBooks, and everything that went into Google Calendar then equated to, a sitter getting paid and then a job getting billed. And I was manually doing that, which just seems silly, but I, over 14 years, had developed kind of a pattern, and I had some idiosyncrasies with certain clients that I didn't think a software could fit. So, what are kind of some of the pains? I mean, those are my personal pains, but what are some of the pains that LeashTime really fulfills or fixes and turns into gains for pet sitters, would you say? Like, what are some of the biggest benefits over LeashTime and just pet sitting software in general?
Well,
there's people that have not that don't use it, and you should use it. You should definitely use it.
No, and I think the key is never to be afraid to, because I think some of the software can be very daunting. You look at it and you go, oh, they want me to do this, they want me to do that, and it's like, holy moly, I just want to schedule and be able to invoice. But the key is that, you know, in any of the software programs, once you schedule a visit, it's now part of your sitter's schedule. Your sitter can see it. Your clients can see it. And you can invoice from that, just that one visit now becomes a key. And if that visit gets canceled, then you're not invoicing. The sitter's not showing up. So it's all tied in. And the key for that is that, you know, having software, instead of Google Calendar, I mean, Google Calendar is great, but if you have Google Calendar and then you have QuickBooks or something else, then you're having to go in and, you know, once you do the Google Calendar, then at the end of the month or whenever you want to do billing, you have to go in and sit there and type in all the dates. Well, with software, and especially like LeashTime, you can do that all in one place. So it's fabulous as far as controlling, you know, everything all in one. That makes sense. Sorry, I repeated myself.
Yeah, no, it makes
the biggest thing is that the scheduling, you know, you're not going to have confusion on a schedule. The client's going to request a schedule, you confirm it, and the sitter can see it, so there's no mix-ups on schedules. Some of the other key things is that sitters missing visits. You know, when you have an online system, you know, in LeashTime, we actually have a function that it'll tell me if a sitter hasn't marked a job complete, because my sitters are marking their jobs out in the field live, and it'll tell me if they're late or, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, you don't end up with visits missing. I have GPS tracking on, so my sitters can't falsify a visit.
And Leash was, as far as I know, one of the first to put in the GPS tracking.
Right. They started. Go ahead. They started with the GPS check-in and check-outs. That was the first thing that happened, and that probably has been going on since 2012. And now we have actually apps that you run on the Android and the iPhone that actually do the tracking, the walking, or the visit, the whole visit. So, and that you can share with your clients, or you don't have to share with your clients. So that's the nice thing. And it's more for me personally, it's all about making your clients comfortable and making yourself comfortable, because this is the weirdest job you'll ever manage. It's like, you know, because you're just waking up and you're going, okay, I hope everybody does their job today. You know,
it's not like a store where you see people come in and you're like, hey Betty, hey John, I hope everybody went to work today. I mean, before we use software, we were asking our staff to text us, and it just, you know, they'd forget. And at least this way, part of their job is to complete the task, the job in the software, which then sets off a chain of events. It lets us know it's good. It's good to go for billing. It you know, then you communicate to the client. So there's all those benefits too.
Yeah, it ties in. It's all, you know, like I said, once you get that visit in the system, it just, you know, it's a piece of cake from there.
Yeah.
So the other thing is people invoicing, you know, I can tell you a few horror stories, but I mean, people just, they love what they're doing. They love pet sitting. They love dog walking, but the billing was not, you know, their forte.
No. This is a tough job, because you have to be an animal person, a people person, a business person, an accountant. You know, there's. Yeah.
You're the CEO, CFO, you know, the
COO.
So it is tough. And a lot of people would just, you know, clients would leave checks or cash, and they would just make notation. So the idea is that now having an accounts receivable, and in LeashTime, it's all inclusive. So you're not, you know, if you want to still use QuickBooks, you can, but the billing is all inclusive in LeashTime. So that makes it really nice. And you can keep up on it. You know, if somebody added a visit or something and they wrote you a check, you know, how do you know you actually got paid for the right number of visits if you weren't using a software? I always tell people you can. And the other thing is if somebody, you know, somebody adds a visit, your sitter puts it on their payroll, and you're not recording or you're not charging the client, you know, it gets really hairy. So, I mean, the software definitely
unintended.
right. But the idea is that the software, it does a lot of the little things and controls a lot of little things.
It saves so much time and energy and just brain power. We, as we discussed, we're everything in our business, the CFO, the COO, the CEO, even down to caretakers. And I think it's fascinating how much I spent before using software, how much time I spent on admin duties. And then once I got software and got set up, it was like I got my life back. I had all this extra time, and that's of course what allowed me to pursue other projects, and of course join Pro Pet Hero, and be able to soothe my passions of pet first aid and CPR within the community. But it's amazing. With you, I assume you have other projects too, but it's allowed you to be able to promote and work with LeashTime because you've had this open ability. Right. Now it's more, the only thing that's not managed is the human connections with our staff and human connections with our clients, but all those nitty gritty little details, the billing, the cancellations, the following your policy, the communicating with the client, the making sure the job was done in the time window that it needed to be done, the specifics about each client. I mean, I was uploading those into Google documents and
yeah. I mean, I tell people it's again, it's kind of a weird job, but the fact is that people sometimes are a little reluctant because they're like, well, I don't want to pay for the software, but it can be an admin. I mean, if you had to hire an admin, if you didn't have software and you had to hire an admin, the cost of an admin, you could blow through the cost of software in 2 hours.
Peanuts. I mean, LeashTime is definitely, I compared prices, it's middle of the road. It's certainly not the most expensive. The pricing's really, really reasonable, but I mean, still, I was looking at it here. Where was this? Price for success. Oh, here we go. If you have 6 to 11 sitters, it's $74.95 a month. I mean, I was paying several times that a week when I had a manager. And now my manager can just focus on the staff and not these nitty gritty. I mean, they oversee the software, but all I can say is people that do not have pet sitting software, whether you're solo or looking to hire, my biggest regret in my business was not starting software earlier. Jody, I'm jealous that you started in 2005. And I know you grew with it because you literally wake up and this industry has changed.
Right. We could have a whole conversation on how
back in my day.
Back when the Stone Ages. No, but it is totally
back when we used paper calendars, which I did.
Oh yeah, I used to have a whiteboard on the back or on my office wall, not in this office, but it was a 4x4 whiteboard that I used to put the calendar on, and that's how I scheduled, and that's how I did invoicing and stuff. And it was finally like, I used to dread doing QuickBooks. I mean, I love QuickBooks, but I used to dread the invoicing. And now
I used to count on my receipts.
Okay. Yeah. It is amazing how, and the other thing is that it's changed for us as business owners where technology is really a huge benefit. But at the same time, it's now clients are expecting so much more.
They really are. There's other apps for that. And
right.
I think the software, one of the biggest advantages, besides just making our life easier and managing it so much easier, is it also makes us look comparative to those, the elephant apps in the room, where a client can just sign in and request services and change services and update their information about their pets. And, I just think that's where pet sitting software was ahead of these apps, and these apps kind of just took it and ran with it and then made it accessible to everybody.
Right.
But it's fascinating to see, what the capabilities are kind of endless. And what I really like about, LeashTime and these softwares in particular is that you can really customize it to your business. That was one of my stumbling blocks before I signed up with any software was, will this be able to, work with my business, or do I have to shift my business to work with it? And some of them I didn't use because I felt like I had to change my business too much. But nowadays in particular, everything's customizable. down
Yeah,
into the sign-in page for some clients.
right. And I will be the first one to tell you that, I love LeashTime. It's great. Obviously I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I didn't like the product. So, but everybody's going to be a little different. There might be some business procedures that you might have to change to use LeashTime, or it just may not be the right fit for you. I mean, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to try to put a square, block into a circle peg. And I always tell people, look around, look at the software and ask questions.
Speaking of that, so what in particular, because I did try personally to go on and find kind of the standouts for LeashTime, and I have to say the market's very noisy right now.
Yeah.
To you, because you know the software inside and out, and the market pretty well, what would you say are some of the standout features about LeashTime over others? I mean, first they were, one of the first with GPS tracking, and I have heard I'm on all the forums, and
Right.
that was the first thing that I was like, that's very interesting. And I haven't heard any complaints about that, while I have with others. But what are some other points, if you have any, that?
Well, the actual tracking of the visits.
Yeah.
That's going to be, where there's a handful of them that are doing it, but I think we've got a great product as far as the visit reports that can go to the client can have the GPS tracking. It can have the photo, can have notes, or you can, and you can customize that in LeashTime for each client, or across the board.
Yeah, because some clients want text, some clients want email, some clients don't want anything, some clients want videos.
The idea is you want to get all the communication going through LeashTime.
Yes.
So it's still going through email, but the idea is that you're limiting your staff or your team members having to text, because that client's going to reply to a text and ask for a visit or something like that. The other thing is that the billing is very flexible. The accounts receivable is all inclusive for that part. The key management in LeashTime is very comprehensive. I mean, I have people the business owners who just, they live or die by the key management in LeashTime.
Keys are another, people that are not in this industry, I wish we had 4 more hours to have this discussion about all the things, the tiny little minutia that we deal with, from keys to details with clients, to the specific times they want the schedule, to what they exactly want done at the visit, to what each one of their animals requires. Then you have the sitters themselves, they're their own unique people. And it's just putting that all together. I was talking with a friend last night at agility class, and she's a head of radiology department for a very big hospital down in Boston. And she has to make a schedule for 105 people. And I was like, I make a schedule for 400 people. It's 400 clients, and I have my, 6 staff, but girl, you got nothing on us. Pet sitters are, it was fascinating to see, looks like we lost Jody. We'll wait for Jody to come back. Hi. Oh, here she's coming back. Yay, we lost you for a second.
Okay, sorry about that.
Were you clicking stuff?
No, I didn't touch anything. I promise, I didn't touch anything.
Oh, your connection's really good and you sound really good, but sometimes, you
froze. I can't control my cable, so
yeah.
No, but we were just talking about the key management. I've had like I said, business owners who really just, and it's very comprehensive. I can't even explain how detailed it is in LeashTime, and that's an advantage. There's a whole bunch of features as far as the tracking, the pet owner profile stuff. Obviously, a lot of these are going to be similar on other programs. We do offer credit card options, so you can have a credit card. You can be we use a couple different gateways, and you can shop for a good price. So one of our gateways is authorized.net, and if you're familiar with that, authorized.net.
Oh, we lost Jody again. Well, hopefully she will come back soon, but I know that Jody was talking about credit card processing, and there was a very big discussion, a healthy discussion on several of the pet sitting forums about the ability to choose. Oh, Jody, are you back?
I'm here.
Okay, good. I was just going into, because you had frozen for a little bit, I was just going into how there was discussion on the forum about our ability as sitters and consumers to be able to choose our credit card processing, because that's literally thousands of dollars a year. If you're at a 3% rate and you have swipe fees and you can't choose because there are softwares, that's a big advantage to LeashTime, that you can shop around and that you have a couple, several different gateways, because there's others that don't, that are more expensive, and then you're stuck with that option, which for the small business, you could be talking $2,000 to $6,000 a year easily, in variations on percentages of credit card fees. So
0.25% or 0.5% can be a lot.
Yeah.
And if you're doing $1 million, which we have clients who are pushing through $1 million worth of credit cards. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And that affects your bottom line big time.
Right. I mean, it's just, sometimes you can't avoid the cost.
Of course.
And I would not give up the opportunity to do credit cards, because it's like, I want my money. No, but the other thing is that LeashTime's been very reliable. I can count on one hand how many times the system's been down, and when it's down, it's less than 10 minutes. And that's over the last, 5 years.
Yeah, and I say, I'm on the forums and I do not see people complaining about LeashTime being down. There's others that they're complaining about being down. Because I think a lot of people, LeashTime has been one of the longest leaders in the market. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of new companies that have come up. And while they've got these gadgets and gizmos and kind of newer age technologies, they also have the failure. So that's important. I mean, when you're out and it's midday rush, if you're a dog walker and your system goes down, oof.
Yeah,
that's not good.
You need a garage code, you need an alarm code, it's crucial. I mean, it like I said, it's been very limited, and I'm very proud of that. I mean, I'm hugely proud of that fact that LeashTime has been very very reliable and responsive on that. So
Jody, if people have questions about LeashTime, would it be okay if they contacted you, or would you like them to go through LeashTime?
The best way is just to go to the website, leashtime.com, and there's a contact us. We're more than welcome to do a 30-day trial. And actually, if anybody's interested, I'll extend the 30-day trial to 60.
Cool.
You'll get a month free. We have unlimited training. That's the other thing. We do unlimited training. We do one-on-one training. I do a lot of go-to meetings. Because everybody's going to be different. So I know not everybody can look at videos and understand how this relates to their company.
Yeah, everybody learns differently. I'm finding that I learn differently, and I learn best at 8 to 10 p.m. That's when I put on my pajamas and start taking classes. I tried to listen to a seminar the other day on influencer marketing, which I'm wildly interested in. And my brain was thinking of all the projects I had to do. And I was like, nope, I have to get my projects and stuff done during the day. I learn at night. So.
And the other thing is that if there is somebody out there who's only single, they're by themselves. So the 1 to 5 price range is $34.95, I believe. Yeah,
that's still nothing.
Right, but I will offer them a discount if they're 1 to 2 people.
That's super generous.
Just mention you, Kara. And
well, what I'll do is I'm going to edit this. I'm going to put this into YouTube. So this is live right now, but I'm going to put it into YouTube so that we can replay it, and I'll share it through. It'll be shared multiple times, because we're happy to. This information needs to get out. But solo pet sitters, do not think that you are too small for software. The $34 is, and of course, then there's Jody's discount, is absolutely worth the peace of mind. It's one thing off your plate to not have to worry about invoicing and billing and the scheduling. And just please, I beg you to look into software. Yeah. I'm a big proponent of supporting our fellow pet sitters in this industry. I'm a mentor for many out of just my free time, because I just want to make sure that we're all providing proper care for the animals and and have the ability to provide professional businesses. So I highly recommend, you look into software. Again, repeating that I regret not doing it earlier for my own business. So.
But you did it.
I did do it. Yeah. I did do it. And that's all.
And it's never too late. I will tell people. I think some people get intimidated by that, and they're like, "Oh, I just haven't done it. No, it's just too late." No, No.
And it's never too late to
late.
change. I see people changing softwares all the time. So
Right.
if you're dissatisfied with something that you have, take a look at other ones. Obviously, today we're talking about LeashTime, but there's plenty out there for you to look at.
Right.
Yeah. So Jody, I really, really want to thank you for taking the time
Thank
today
you,
to
Kira,
share.
so much.
Yeah, I know we didn't get to talk much shop, but we literally could spend hours.
Yeah,
we did a go-to meeting on Slack, and 90% of it we talked about, being pet sitters.
Yeah.
So thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Like I said, I will get the LeashTime information. I'll get this into a blog post. I'll get this into YouTube, and we will get this shared out. So, if there's a pet sitter that's not starting their company until tomorrow, they'll get it. They'll get to see this later on. So
perfect.
Thank you again for your time. And I hope we've made some people's lives easier, or the decision to jump on the software bandwagon easier, and just go out and do it. All right. So enjoy your day. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.